I'm going out, I gotta go. I'll bang a rang on the radio. So turn it up, I'm telling you. I think I'm ready for something new. Hey, hello, it's nice to meet ya. Hey, come in and have a slice of pizza. Hey, hello, it's nice to meet ya. Hey, come in and have a slice of pizza.
Hi, I'm Noelle, the host of Pop Punk and Pizza, and today I'm going to be telling you about the top 5 newer bands I think you should listen to. So bands that started in 2010 or later, and there's actually 6 bands I'm going to be talking about, but top 5 just sounds catchier, so I'm just going to go with that. And shout out to Matt Anderson, who sponsored this episode in support of a band called Moving to Ashbury, who is the first band I'll be talking about. And so I got into a lot of these bands around the same time, like either this year or a couple years ago, except for this one. This one I just found out about recently. And so Moving to Ashbury is from Sweden, and actually all these bands are international bands, except for one of them, which is interesting. That's just a coincidence, but yeah, so Moving to Ashbury is from Sweden. And my favorite songs by them so far are Same in a Different Way and Narcissist, which are both on Life on a Bicycle, that came out in 2016. And their first single came out in 2014 called Who's to Blame. Their first album also came out in 2014 called What Happened to Rock and Roll. And their most recent single is Red and Blue, which came out this year on August 19th. And that one I feel like they're like all their stuff overall is kind of like pop punk, but I would say their newer single is kind of more like emo, or more on the emo side. And I hear that they're coming out with a new album soon, so make sure to follow them on Instagram and all that, on social media, so you can be the first to find out about that when that comes out. And the second band I'll be talking about is Never Loved. And this band is the only one I'll be talking about that's from the US. They're from Florida, and they're also a pop punk band, but they have some more like alternative songs too. And so I really like them. I think I found out about them like this year or last year. I'm not entirely sure, but like pretty recently. And my favorite songs by them are just all the songs on their self-titled EP that came out in 2019. And so their first single came out in 2019. Their first album came out in 2021, and it's called Over It. So they only have 2 releases, their EP and their newest album. And they're not touring right now. They haven't posted anything recently on their Instagram at least, so I'm not sure if they're like planning on releasing anything new. But I really hope that they're not done being a band or anything, because I want to hear, more stuff from them. And yeah, so I'm excited to see if they come out with any new stuff soon. But yeah, and the third band I'll be talking about is called Bilk. So I think it means like to rob or like steal. And they're from Essex in the UK. And my favorite songs by them are CM2, Brand New Day, and those are both on their Allow It EP that came out in 2021. And also Just Not Keen, which is from their album EP called Chipped Out that came out in 2019. And so this band is like very British, like you can tell like when they're singing, when the singer is singing, you can definitely like their accent is strong, but I really like I don't know, I find it amusing. But they're like punk and kind of pop punk, but it's like I don't know, it's like a new kind of punk. It's like I don't know, it sounds new, but I don't even know how to describe this. I'm describing it badly. Okay, so their first single came out in 2018, their first EP came out in 2019, and their most recent EP is Just Don't Work For Me, which came out in 2022, and they're coming out with their debut album February 10th, so stay tuned for that. And they're also going on tour in February 2023 in the UK. So if you live in the UK or anywhere around there, be sure to check that out. I wish I could go see them live, but I don't live there, obviously. So that's unfortunate, but hopefully they come to the US sometime soon. Hopefully all these bands come to the US sometime soon. And next one is also from the UK. They're from London. They're called Bad Nerves, and my favorite songs by them are Baby Drummer, Dreaming, Can't Be Mine, which are all from their self-titled album that came out in 2020. And I also like their single that came out the year after called Don't Stop. And the first single came out in 2017, their first album was 2020, and their most recent album is their self-titled album. So this band is kind of like punk and power pop and kind of like garage rock, so it's a really cool combination that I really like. And it's like very fast, so if you like that kind of thing, I would highly recommend them. And next band is called Fang Club, like fan club, but like fangs, so Fang Club. And they're from Dublin, Ireland. And my favorite songs by them are Follow, which is from their Coma Happy EP that came out in 2016. Better to Forget, Bullethead, Dreamcatcher, which are from their self-titled album that came out in 2017. And I really like Hesitations. That one goes pretty hard. I like that one. And All I Have, which both came out on their album Vulture Culture in 2019. And so the first single came out in 2016, their first album came out in 2017, and their most recent album is Vulture Culture, which came out in 2019. And they're not touring now, from what I can see, but I hope they go on tour soon because I would like to see them live. This band is kind of like grungy, but I think like if you're a fan of pop punk, you would also like this band. They're kind of like alternative. So yeah, they're really good. Next up is Dinosaur Pileup. I could have sworn this band was from Australia, and I think when I worked at the radio station at WONC, my college radio station, I kept saying that this band was from Australia, but they're not. They're from Leeds in the UK, so my mistake. I could have sworn somewhere it said they were from Australia. But anyway, my favorite songs by them are Thrash Metal Cassette. That one it goes from pop punk to like thrash metal to like this like cheering chant kind of thing. So it's very interesting. It's a very interesting combination of things in one song. And I also really like Gasoline, Backfoot, and Stupid Heavy Metal, Broken Hearted Loser Punk. That one's a great one. And those all came out on their album Celebrity Mansions from 2019. And I also like Grim Valentine, Nothing Personal, and those both came out on their album called 1111 that came out in 2015. And they formed in 2007, but their first single and album came out in 2010. And their most recent single is they featured on a song called Destroy the World by a band called Jaws the Shark, and that came out August 23rd. And their most recent album is Celebrity Mansions, and they are currently in the studio, according to their social media, recording something new. And they have a podcast, which I didn't know this, but I did a little digging on them, and I found out they have a podcast called the Cosmic Barbecue Podcast, and I haven't listened to it, so I can't really tell you much about it, but it says they just talk about anything and everything, so do with that information what you will. And so those are my top 5/6 newer bands that I think you should check out, and they all have like punk influences, and so I think you would really enjoy them. And yeah, be sure to check out Moving to Ashbury They are on Apple Music and Spotify, and I'm sure other things as well. I will put a link in the description to their social media and their music that you can check out. And they should have an album coming out soon, like I said, so stay tuned for that. And thank you so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.
Hey, hello, it's nice to meet ya. Hey, come in and have a slice of pizza.